Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again, here with a warning and kind of a Q&A video again. So I'll say it's a warning. Um, for security versus the server team, this is where this is coming from. I got off a client again, call again, and we're doing an ICE implementation with Order. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically Order is kind of a something that helps you with IoT devices in your network. It kind of tells you what a device is based on the net flow information. Then you can do PX create information, create profile, excuse me, create profiles, and then the profile information comes from Order and give you a better profile. And then you can allow that stuff on your network, apply SGT, stuff like that. So we're going through this whole thing. And we got the pH grid information. I can see some of the attributes and stuff like that. But we noticed as we were troubleshooting, like, hey, we're not seeing anything in the context visibility. In fact, we're not seeing a lot of stuff that should be showing up. We're not seeing like reports and all kinds of things that just aren't showing up. And the client sent me a warning message or error message about, hey, you've reached like the maximum amount of, it was a profile error or something where you reach the maximum it could take, and this may be caused as a resource issue. So as I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, are these virtual nodes? Answer is yes. I was like, has this been given the right amount of resources? And have you reserved those resources? And that's when we started finding out, going down the rabbit hole, that the server team doesn't like giving resources to the ICE nodes, and it's starving the ICE nodes, and the ICE nodes can't do their job. So their ICE deployment was already messed up because the server team didn't allocate the appropriate resources, and they were kind of like arguing with the server, back and forth with the security and networking team. I'm gonna tell you this flat out. If you're going to deploy ICE, you need to sit down with your server team. Server teams are very stingy when it comes to resources, and they have to be because, in a hypervisor type of network, deploying a lot of resources in a hypervisor could potentially kill the whole hypervisor. Here's the problem, though. This is a security appliance that's supposed to keep the bad guys out. So I'm going to tell you from a security standpoint, I don't care that much about you complaining about not being able to not liking the resources that you need to assign to ICE. Because at the end of the day, this appliance is supposed to give us compliancy in terms of, or make us compliant in terms of, hey, do we have some type of NAC solution that's going to prevent unwanted devices and users getting on the network? That is the overarching goal here, to keep bad guys out of my network. It is not to preserve the resources in the VM environment just because you want to hog it down, right? So as we start talking, I did make a recommendation of, hey, if you're really worried about this from a performance perspective, because here's the thing, when you have something, and this is a side quest, by the way, when you have something that is in a hypervisor, the hypervisor, or that extra layer of extraction, can cause potential problems with the VM that you're deploying. So to get around that, it's good to just get a dedicated server or dedicated hardware for the ICE platform. Now, there is some there's some CapEx dollars that's going to go into that. Plus, really depends on how many nodes you're deploying, how big of a CapEx investment that you're going to have to make, right? If it's a 2-node cluster, that may not be a big budgetary hit. But let's say you have a distributed node deployment where you have a large deployment, which is going to break out all the personas. You're going to have dedicated admin nodes, dedicated monitoring nodes, dedicated PSNs, and maybe dedicated XPS and XXP and PX grid nodes. That's a lot of money that you're going to have to put out, right? So you have to weigh the pros and cons of doing that. Now, the dedicated boxes, I like that solution because you don't have to worry about, hey, did I allocate enough CPU? Did I allocate enough memory? Did I allocate enough hard drive? That is already taken care of when you bought the appliance, right? When you do the VM way, you got to worry about that. And you got to worry about the server team, and I've seen this happen before, going back and scaling down some of the resources that you told them to give them and not telling you. This is where the server team, the network team, and the security team start fighting amongst each other. To just eliminate all that, it's just get dedicated hardware. Um, Again, has to fit into your budget as well. Get the dedicated hardware, and then don't have to worry about this. Now, this client's going to be working with Cisco Tech to see what's going on, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be, hey, you need to allocate more resources, and you need to actually reserve the resources that you're allocating here so that ICE can function correctly. And once that's fixed, we'll be able to do everything else. But this is a warning to my security team, my networking team. The chances of you arguing with your server team when it comes to building out ICE is going to happen, especially if you're running low on hypervisor resources. Their job is to try to keep as much resources as possible. Your job is to deploy a security appliance that is going to protect your network, and they may clash. So get that conversation out early. This also comes back to design. You need to have a proper design, and everybody agrees from networking to security to the server team. You guys all need to agree before you just, slam a OVA somewhere, and then you have the server team barking at you like, hey, you used up all the resources and you crashed a couple VMs because of it. This is Don from Padlock Technologies. I hope this video was informative. Thank you and have a nice day.